Committee was served with papers questioning procedure followed in calling for an extraordinary meeting of Council. In our papers, which have been served on the respondents and filed in the High Court, we argue that the notices convening the 9th Extraordinary Council meeting of Council for 30 September 2022 at 10 o'clock, issued by the Speaker of Council, Councillor Colleen Makubele, be declared to be unlawful, invalid, null and void. On behalf of the Joburg multi-party government, our papers will be filed in the High Court, stating inter alia that the Programming Committee of Thursday, 29 September 2022 was incorrect. Therefore, its decision to call a council meeting on 30 September 2022 be declared unlawful, invalid, and of no force or effect. The council meeting convened by notices and schedules for 30 September 2022 at 10 o'clock be ordered and directed not to take place. What must be highlighted is the irregular manner and haste in which the sitting of council was called ahead of recess, which takes effect from the 1st of October 2022, despite the Speaker of Council stating on the 28th of September that an extraordinary meeting would take place after the recess period. At 9 minutes past 1 in the afternoon on Thursday, the Speaker called for a sitting of the Programming Committee to take place at 4 o'clock on the same day, 3 hours later, notwithstanding that there was no explanation for the extreme urgency for the calling of such a meeting. In my experience, the calling of Programming Committee meetings at such short notice is extremely unusual. After all, its function is to properly ensure that the council meetings run smoothly with due notice and planning. Further to this, on 29 September 2022, at 25 minutes past 1 in the afternoon, the Speaker gave notice of an extraordinary meeting for 10 o'clock on 30 September 2022. This was less than 20 hours notice of that meeting. We accept the Speaker's right to call meetings, but submit that to call a meeting of 270 councillors of the city on less than a day's notice, without grounds of extreme urgency and special need, is in breach of the requirement that meetings must be called within a reasonable notice period. Rule 55 of Council requires 3 days' notice for ordinary meetings, and although there is no such requirement for extraordinary meetings, the past practice of Council for at least 6 years has been to call extraordinary meetings on at least 3 days' notice. Rule 6(2)(b) requires that the Speaker have cognizance of the established practice. We submit that there is no reason why a meeting to decide on the removal of the executive mayor, and by extension the entire executive of the city, cannot be called on 3 days' notice. Our founding affidavit has been filed on an urgent basis due to the confusion and chaos that could be effected should the meeting proceed. The Joburg multi-party government does not believe that the Speaker is acting in the interests of the residents of Joburg and the Council. She must therefore be challenged legally, as an appeal to sense, rationale, and the law has fallen on deaf ears. It is unfortunate that the Speaker of Council, who's charged with upholding the rules of Council and the laws of our land, has chosen to play fast and loose with these democratic functions. We're therefore deeply concerned about her tenure as Speaker. Approaching the court is the last resort in the interest of the residents and the rule of law. The rules of Council and laws of the country cannot be manipulated for wicked political agendas.
Thank you, Madam Executive Mayor. We'll take a handful of questions. We'll start in front here.
Mbali Tetani from Newsroom Africa. Can we get an indication